Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name, after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
All right. So we are starting on our back in windshield wipers. So lay down on your back. I got all my stuff, all my gear. All right, so come down onto your back, feet as wide as you like them to be for your windshield wipers. And to start, for the first 30 seconds, we're going to go knees and head turning in the same direction. So maybe arms in cactus or goalpost, knees drop to one side, head turns with the knees. So you're going to see, how does that feel? How does that feel to your head? How does that feel to your neck? How do your hips feel? How does your back feel? And then as you start to do this work, go slow. Pay attention to how your body's feeling. Notice your energy level and notice the depth of your breath. So see if you can start to just slow your breath down a little bit. 3 more seconds with the head turn going with the knees. All right, now switch, and the knees are going to go in one direction and your head is going to turn in the opposite direction. Ten seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, next up, it's going to be a roll and a twist. So we're going to roll to one side. So you're just going to kind of pick up your knees, roll to one side like you're going into a fetal position, open your top hand into a twist and maybe look to that hand. And then you're going to pull that hand back in, grab your knees, roll across to the other side, come to that fetal position side, open into a twist, close the twist, grab your knees, bring it across. So that's the work. Roll across, take it into a twist, or you can coordinate it in a way that makes more sense to you. If you get there and you're like, no, I want to take my twist, open it up and then roll right across, feel free to do that. So feel free to do the twisting and rolling that feels the most fluid to you. So we're going for a little bit of fluid work if you can find it. And then just kind of tune in and notice, how do your arms feel? How does your chest and your shoulders feel? How does your back feel as you roll across? You're already halfway there. Five seconds left. And time. Nice job. Okay, now we're going to roll back onto our back. Now you choose your own adventure here. If you have a folded up towel, the towel might be softer and that might feel nice. If you prefer to yoga block, that is going to work just as great. It's just going to be a little bit firmer. You're going to place the towel or your yoga block in between your knees. We're going for a low hip bridge. So hands just down at your sides in a gentle position. Lift your butt up just like halfway, like not going for that full extension of the bridge, but just enough that you pick your butt up off the ground, lower it back down, and then pull your knees towards your chest, give yourself a gentle squeeze, and then right back down to the ground. Lift your butt up, go for that halfway bridge, lower down, pull your knees in, give yourself a gentle squeeze. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take this work at your pace, but see if you can start to find just a little bit of a squeeze in your butt muscles as you pick your butt up into the air. And then in the idea of like squeezing those muscles or contracting and releasing the muscles, when we contract and release our muscles, anti-inflammatory chemicals are released from our muscles. So we do want that contraction. We do want that release so that we serve our nervous system and we serve our body in a really great way. So if you can find it, lift your butt, give a little squeeze to those big butt muscles. They've got a lot of muscle there. Lift your butt, give a little squeeze, lower nice and slow. Nice job. 15 seconds left. And time. Nice. Okay, if you've got your towel or your block between your legs, go ahead and set it off to the side. And then it's going to be a dead bug position. So you can hold on to hand weights if you want to, but still kind of warming up. So if you don't want your hand weights, you're going to keep your hands empty, but lifted and straight out from the chest. And now we're going to alternate. So one toe is going to touch down to the ground and then the other. For some of us, it's going to feel better to have the low back pressing down into the ground. For some of us, it'll feel a little bit better to have a slight natural curve to the spine. And for some of us, it'll feel a little bit stronger to curl up just a little bit. So go to the place where your back and your belly feel strong and supported, and you're breathing comfortably, and there's no ache in your back as you try to just touch one toe down to the ground and then the other. "15 seconds left." Now we're going to keep this work going. We've got 10 more seconds, but you're going to start to ask yourself, how does it feel in your legs and in your torso? And then when we're ready, we're going to switch. So we're going to keep this dead bug position, but now we're going to take it into a curl up. So legs are going to stay still. And now we're going to curl up the head, neck, and chest, lower back down. But as you start to find your curl up here, ask yourself, would it feel good to place your towel or your yoga block between your knees to keep a little bit of an integrity in the inner thigh area? So go where you feel the strongest right now. Give a little curl up and then lower back down. We've got 1 minute on the clock. And now here, see if you can add the breath a little bit. Exhale as you curl up, inhale as you lower down. And then just take a moment to look at your abdominal muscles or take a little glance in your peripheral vision. If your muscles are doming up into a little triangle, peeking up towards the ceiling, before you curl up, pull the abdominal muscles down and then get your little curl up and then lower with control. So we want to focus on keeping the abdominal muscles drawing down towards the ground. Exhale as you curl up, inhale as you release. Beautiful. 20 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, set your feet down. Now we're going to grab our hand weights, we're going to grab one single hand weight because it's going to be an offloaded work. So for 30 seconds, we're going to go one hand and then 30 seconds the other hand. Feet are going to be down on the ground, feet about hip width distance apart. We're going for a chest press straight up towards the ceiling, open into a chest fly, bring it back in, lower back down. So we're going to keep one hand empty, one hand loaded, and then you're just going to start to notice we got 30 seconds on this side. How does it feel to have one hand open? Can you move both arms at the same pace, even though one hand has a load and one hand is empty? Open up into a chest fly, bring it back in, lower it down. So we're going for a slightly wide row or chest press, and then a nice open position with that chest fly. Beautiful. All right, now the next time you lower down, pass your weight across to the other hand, and then we're right back to it. But now the other hand is empty and the other hand is loaded. So we go for that chest press, and then we open up into that fly, but then start to notice, you're going to notice your core muscles are going to do a little bit of work just to have that little transfer of weight from one hand to the other. Yes, nice job. And time. Okay, stick with that one single weight. Legs are going to be long. Arms are going to stretch up and overhead. So we're going to go for a roll up into a sit up position, and then we're going to alternate a halo at the top. So you're going to exhale, roll up, but pull the knees in, lean into a little V set, circle your hands around in one direction, circle your hands around the other way, load up at the chest, curl your tailbone under, roll all the way down, arms up and overhead. Exhale, we roll up, slide the legs in, lean into your V-sit, circle around one way, circle around the other, and then roll your way back down nice and slow and controlled. We've got 1 minute on the clock. If the load feels like too much, leave that part off. If the load feels like it's not quite enough, go and grab your second hand weight, and then you can do that work by coming up into that roll up, and then you'll do a single arm halo and a single arm halo. So find the work that feels good, one hand weight or two, totally up to you. Use your breath so that exhale helps you come up, and then an inhale helps you come down. You're already halfway there. All right, now the next time you come up into that seated position, we're gonna stay here and move it right into a little figure eight pass. So we're gonna lean back into a little V-sit. You're gonna lift one leg up, pass your hand weight underneath, lift the other leg up and pass it underneath. Now, if the hand weight doesn't feel good and you want the lean back, but you don't wanna use your hand weight, you're just gonna lift one leg up and a little clap underneath the legs. But if passing that weight around feels good, notice here, pay attention to your grip. Pay attention to your back. Make sure you feel like your core muscles are kicked on just a little bit. Nice job. You're already halfway there. Five seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to take it in back down to the ground. One hand weight or two is going to be totally up to you. We're going to stay loaded. Arms are going to held up from the chest. And now we're coming back to our hip bridge. So you're going to keep your arms straight out in front of you. That's going to create a slight bit of extra work in the bottom half of the body because the arms are out of the way. They create no leverage for you. Exhale, lift your butt up. Give that good squeeze of the glutes. Lower down with control. If holding your hand weights up doesn't feel good to you, you can either empty your hands but keep the arms up, or lower your hands if that feels like a better way to support your body. So make sure that you're working in a way that feels good to your body this morning. I like that exhale as we lift the butt up and squeeze, and inhale as you lower back down. Five seconds left. And time. Okay, now we're coming up to a seated position. We're going to step the feet wide, and the legs are going to be nice and generously bent. So step your feet maybe to the outer edges of your yoga mat. We're going to take our hand weights with, we're going to touch down in front of us. We're going hip hinge, so we're going to keep the arms straight and long. We're going to hip hinge, tap the weights forward, tap the weights in, bring it into a bicep curl, overhead press, back to the chest. Touch the weights down, hip hinge, touch the weights forward, bring it back in. So as we do that little hip hinge, we want to keep our arms straight. So it's the back that moves and the weights and the arms stay the same. And then we do that bicep curl with the overhead press. You don't have to go all the way towards your feet, especially if you have super tight hamstrings. Make sure you only go as far as feels good so there's no pinching in the back, but keep the arms straight and strong. Give that overhead press, lower it down. You've got it. 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace. Keep a little press down into your heels. So we want to feel like our legs are nice and anchored on the ground. Beautiful, already halfway there. Five seconds left. And time. Okay, set your weights slightly off to the side. We're going to keep the legs out in front of us. Come down, elbows and forearms. And now we're going to step one leg in. I'm going to give you a choose your own adventure for this one. If you have a tendency towards tight hip flexors or those tight in the front pocket area or hip bursitis, you're going to keep your left knee bent, right leg toes pointing up, and we're going for the leg lift here. If you have a tendency towards tightness in the outer side of your hip or into your IT band, then you're going to turn your toe in. So toe up for hip bursitis or hip flexors, toe in for IT band. So whichever it tends to be your go-to place where you feel a little bit of tightness, you're going to go slow motion, lift the leg up to knee height, lower it with control, toe pointing up for hip flexors, hip bursitis, toe turned in for the IT band. So choose the one that you like the best. We got 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other. Go for a nice slow motion, lift up nice and slow, maybe even hover at the top, lower nice and slow, maybe hover at the bottom. So nice, slow, controlled work. A slight sense of firmness in your abdomen and a little bit of opening in the chest so the upper body stays active and strong. Five seconds left, and then we're going to switch to the other leg. All right, next time that leg lowers down, slide it in. We're switching over to the other side. One side might be different from the other. So you may have one side where it's your hip and then one side where it's your IT band. So if one side has a little bit tendency towards one particular thing, toe turned in, that's your IT band. Toe turned up, that's for your hip flexors. We got 30 seconds on this side. Nice, slow, controlled work. Nice job. 5 seconds left. And time. Okay, lower that leg down. And now we're going to roll from side to side into a side plank with a leg lift. So you're going to roll to one side, lift up into your side plank variation that you like the best, roll to the and then pick it up. But go nice and slow and give yourself that little extra bit of time to pause at the top of it and to make sure that you brace your arm and your shoulder. So as you roll to one side, keep it slow, keep it controlled, pay attention to your shoulder, give it the brace and support that it needs, and then roll your way over to the other side. Yes, nice job. Now, if this feels like it's not quite enough work and you want a little extra, grab a single hand weight. You'll take and then you have to coordinate that little pass across. So you take it with you, pass it to the other hand, lift it up. You've got it. Nice job. Ten seconds left. You guys look amazing. Nice. And time. Awesome. Okay, we're spinning it around into tabletop position. So as you come on through, spin yourself around and we're going to take it right into some bird dogs, but we're going to hover our table in between. So get your tabletop position, cushion your knees. If your knees feel tender, take a second to get them all set up. And now it's opposite leg, opposite arm are going to stretch out and away from each other. Switch to the other side. And then as you come back through center, curl your toes under, pick up your knees, hover for a second, lower back down, and then right back to it. Opposite arm, opposite leg, opposite arm, opposite leg, through center, pick up your knees and hover, lower them down. We got 1 minute on the clock. You can add hand weights here. If you want just that little extra bit of work, grab your hand weights. As you slide out, one arm is going to stay braced on the ground, holding onto your hand weight, and then the other, and then you can use them to just keep your knuckles slightly elevated off the ground. So go with what feels good to you right now. And then we want to watch our head posture. So make sure that you, as you come through that tabletop position, pause for a moment and just make sure that you should be looking down between your thumbs or looking down between your hand weights. And we want to keep the chin slightly double tucked so that our head is not pecking down towards the ground. Yes, you guys look awesome. Beautiful work. 20 seconds left. And time. Nice job. Okay, next step is going to be the one where we're using the towel or the yoga block. If you have your towel, start with the towel, see how that feels, and then you can always switch to the yoga block if that feels more stable. We're going to go one time through just to kind of see how it feels, and then you'll pick the one that you like the best. So either place your towel or your yoga block underneath your knee and your shin. So it's going to give an elevated position on one side. It will give you a little bit of a lopsided position. Once you're there, you're stepping the other foot up, and I'm going to turn myself sideways just so you can see. So our knee is on the block or the towel. We're in a kneeling lunge, and then you're going to touch that front leg back down to the ground, and then your hip is going to do a little dip, and then you're going to pick that hip up and then step the foot forward. So the towel is going to give you a softer position, but it still gives you a little bit of height. So see if the towel feels good. If the towel feels good, but you want that bigger challenge, then you're going to go yoga block. It's going to give you more height. It's a little bit sturdier, but it's also a little bit harder. So with that extra height, then you do have that bigger hip dip. So pick the variation that feels good to your hips and you feel the most strong and stable in. We're going 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other side. So you're going to take it slow and steady. And I promise this is a new one, but we'll come back to it from time to time because I love those hip dips. I think they're really good for us. So find the work that makes the most sense to you, the little dip of the hips. And if it helps you feel that little hip dip, bring your hands to your hips and you're going to feel that slight little downward turn of the hip as you step that knee down to the ground and then bring it back up. You've got it. Nice job. And you can adjust the height of your towel and it'll still give you that cushioned feeling. All right, when you're ready, take a moment, set yourself up to the other side. And then one side might be different from the other. One side, you might need the towel compared to the block. So make sure you give a little test drive. See if it feels, knee under the towel, step it up into your lunging position, and then that little knee dip down. You've got it. Nice job. All right, so pick the variation that feels good, towel or your yoga block, totally up to you. And then away we go. We got 30 seconds on this side. Go for slow, controlled movement here, especially as you learn this new transition of moves. Yes. Five seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to stay in a kneeling position, but now it's going to be a high kneel and we're going to grab both weights. It's going to be a front raise, 45 degrees, and then a lateral raise. So if you're like, I'm tired of being on my knees, I want to get up, you can always do this work in standing. But if it feels good to be here, we're going to keep the butt squeezed, belly firm, lift out to the front, go for a 45 degree, and then out to the side. Choose the weights that feel the most appropriate to you now. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace. I'm getting up just for a minute to adjust my camera, but you guys keep on going. You've got it. Nice job. You're already halfway there. Now check those butt muscles. Are they squeezing nice and firm or did they get loosened up? Can you keep a little bit of a sense of squeeze in those butt muscles? 20 seconds left. And time. Nice job. Okay, set your weights off to the side. We're coming down into a prone position. So we're coming down onto our belly. It's going to be our Supermans, but we're going to keep our hands attached to the forehead. So hands are going to stay attached to the forehead. We'll lift the chest and we'll lower down, but we're coming down onto our belly. So come down, take your time as you come down onto the ground, cushion anything that needs to. So if you've got hip points that need a little extra cushion, kneecaps that need a little extra cushion, or chin or forehead, cushion yourself in the way that makes the most sense. Hands are going to stay connected to the forehead. We're going to lift up and lower down. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace. Use your breath to help you here. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale as you lower with control. Particular one, we do want to keep our toes touching down to the ground. So if your legs have a tendency to lift, you might, don't worry about going for height, go for control. Keep your hands connected to the ground, toes stay connected to the ground. We lift the forehead up and lower with control. Beautiful, 15 left. And time, nice job. Okay, now we're taking it into a plank position. It's going to be plank to down dog for 30 seconds. So we're going to alternate between those two shapes, plank position, down dog position, and then we'll hold a plank for 15 seconds, and then we'll hold down dog for 15 seconds. So for the first 30 seconds, find your plank position, and then lift your hips up, find that nice upside down V shape, come back through your plank. We got 30 seconds. Take the time here to go a little bit slow, so you just kind of tune in and notice, how do your shoulders feel as you hit that planking position? Can you find again that little squeeze in the butt muscles and a little bit of broadness in your shoulders? You guys look awesome. Beautiful work. 7 more seconds. And then either a plank or down dog, doesn't matter because we got 15 seconds. So where are you at? Stop right there. We're holding that position for 15 seconds. If you're in your plank, squeeze your butt, broaden your shoulders. If you're in your down dog, let your heart melt towards your thighs just a little bit. 1 more second, and then we're going to switch. Okay, take it up to down dog if you were in plank, or back to plank if you were in down dog. Hold it there. If you're in your plank, squeeze your butt, broaden your shoulders. If you're in your down dog, soften your heart towards your thighs. And time, nicely done. Okay, walk your feet towards your hands, hands towards your feet. And now we're going to grab our hand weights. We're going to use our hand weights as kickstands. So you're going to grab your hand weights and then hold them long ways. They're going to touch down to the ground. They're going to be our little kickstands. And now we're going to alternate rear leg lifts in this bent over position. So we're going to try to keep the upper body in a fairly stable position. One leg is going to lift and then the other. It's not about height, it's about control. So keep a sense of strength in your center. Keep a sense of just solid hold on your hand weights. Now, I like the hand weights as a kickstand because my arms are short, but if your arms are long and this feels like it makes you more unstable, then maybe you just touch your hands to the ground. So go where you feel the strongest and the most stable. And then we want to watch that head position. So once you've got it, you're going to have a slight tuck of the chin, which means you're maybe looking at your toes or maybe looking down between your hand weights. You're already halfway there. "20 seconds left. Pay attention here to your arches of your feet. Keep them nice and lifted, nice and strong. So as you lift one leg and then the other, we kind of tune into the balance of our feet. We got 10 seconds left. All right, now from this bent over position, we're going to take it right into some deadlifts, into a halfway calf raise. So get your bent over position, transfer your weights so that you can hold on to them. And now we're going to bend the knees, push firm into the feet, come up into a deadlift, go for a halfway calf raise. So not full range of motion, not all the way lifted. Go for that halfway point, lower down, hip hinge, find your deadlift, push into your feet, come up to that halfway calf raise, lower down. We got 1 minute on the clock. Go for as much weight here as you can stand. So if you're going with super light weights, but you've got some heavies around, grab your heavies, hip hinge, bend over. So we want to push the butt back, lift your heels up halfway, lower them with control. Yes, nice job. Fifteen seconds left. And time. Okay, our last minute of work, it's going to be a bent over narrow row into a tricep kickback. So we're going to keep a little bit of a bent over position. You're going to scrape the elbows along the ribs, kick back, get a little squeeze in the backs of the arms, bend, lower down. We've got 1 minute on the clock. If that bent over position for you at this point feels like, no, thank you, I'd rather not, then you're just going to go for a little press out in front of the chest, bend your elbows at the top, and then lower the arms down. So pick a variation that feels good to you at this point. We want to bend the elbows, kick the arms back, and then lower it back down. If you're in that bent over position, you want to keep a slight firmness in your belly. A little micro bend in the knees, even so we're not putting too much pressure against the backs of the legs. We want the legs to feel strong, the back to feel strong, and then the backs of the arms get that light little bit of squeeze. You guys look awesome. Nice job. Last 15 seconds here. You've got that work. Can you put it on autopilot? Notice your breath. Can you breathe in and out through your nose? And time. Beautiful. Come up nice and slow. Set your weights down. Once you've got your weights down, we're going to finish with just a little bit of a lymphatic bounce. So you're just going to bounce your whole body. You can jump if you want to jump, if that feels good to get really revved up. But if just a little bounce will do the trick, bounce or jump, totally up to you. Give your arms a little shake. Give your legs a little shake. Move all that lymph around your body. Take one more bounce and shake. And then we're going to cross one leg over the other. Crisscross your legs. I love you guys. All right, walk it down, reach towards your toes, take a nice big breath. Cool, and then when you're ready, come up nice and slow. The leg that's in front, that's the arm that's gonna reach up. Take a little side bend, push down into the foot that's in front, crossing over, and then reach up through your fingertips, take a nice big breath. Lift up, and we're gonna switch to the other side. So the other hand is gonna reach up, take a little side bend, but now we're gonna pull that arm back a little bit, rotate your chest, so it's kind of shining up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. And as we release, we're going to roll it back down. So release that hand, roll down to the ground, uncross your legs at the bottom, bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up nice and slow, cross the other leg. And then once you've got the other leg across, walk back down to your fold. Go just as far as feels good. Take a breath. All right, now come up nice and slow. The leg that's in front, that's the hand that's going to go first. Lift it up, take a little side bend. Beautiful. Release, and now switch to the other hand. Find your side bend and then rotate your chest just a little bit up towards the sky. Nice. Now to release, we're going to roll it all the way back down to the ground. Uncross your legs at the bottom if you can. Bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in. Roll up nice and slow. Now we're going to clasp the hands behind the back. Draw the knuckles down. Open up through your chest. Pull the arms a little bit away from the back of the body. And then we're going to lift the chin and pop our lips. So we're going to wrap your lips around your teeth. So like you're going for that gummy look. And then you're just going to hold the arms down, pull the shoulders down, lift your chin, and pop your lips. One more little pop of the lips and then release your chin. Turn your head slightly to the right. Wrap your lips around your teeth. Lift your chin. Pop your lips. One more pop of the lips and then release your chin. Roll through center. Turn your head to the left. Wrap your lips around your teeth. Lift your chin and pop your lips. One more pop of the lips and then release your chin. Come back through center. Release your arms. Give your arms and your shoulders a little shrug. Maybe throw your arms in and out just to kind of loosen up anything at that top half of the body. You guys are done. Grab your massage balls. I'm on massage balls in my brain. So grab your massage balls if you're sticking around.